My ex said, "I'm pregnant, you pay?" I told her, "If it's mine, I'll step up, but we're doing a DNA test." She called me heartless, dragged me to court, and told everyone I abandoned her. But when the results came back 0%, her new boyfriend found out the truth and left her standing alone. I'm 34, and for the first time in a long time, life finally felt steady. 6 months had gone by since Lily and I ended things. Our relationship had been a loop: break up, make up, money fights, trust issues, and those just friends, guys who always seemed to call at odd hours. When we finally split, I told myself one rule: don't go back. Not for a night and talk. So when my phone lit up at 11:43 p.m. on a Thursday and her name showed on the screen, I stared at it like it might burn me. I almost let it ring out. Almost. Then I answered. "Hello." Her voice was flat. "I'm pregnant." I sat up. "What?" "You heard me," she said. "I'm pregnant, and you're paying." For a second, I thought she was trying to pick a fight. Drama used to be her fuel, but there was something different in the way she said it, like she had a script and wanted me to play a part. "Lily, we broke up half a year ago," I said. "This doesn't make sense. You think this is funny? You're responsible. I'm not doing this alone." My mind ran through dates, last messages, those final weeks when we were unraveling for good. I tried to do the math. It didn't line up. "Lily," I said, keeping my voice even, "I haven't seen you in 5 months. She didn't pause. "Then explain this." My phone pinged. A photo of a pregnancy test with 2 dark lines. Another ping. A blurry ultrasound image. I stared at them, my thumb hovering above the screen like it could find a hidden layer if I pressed long enough. "Look," she said, and now her voice had a soft wobble to it. "I don't want to fight. I just need you to do the right thing." That line dug into me. We'd said versions of it to each other 100 times. Do the right thing. Be the bigger person. Trust me. I wanted to believe I could still be kind and clear. I also knew where blind faith had taken me before. "How far along are you?" I asked. "Enough," she said. "I'm not arguing timelines with you." "Who's your doctor?" "Not your business yet." The old pattern tried to pull me in. The power plays, the half answers, the prove you care tone. I took a breath and kept my words simple. "If the baby is mine, I'll do what I have to do," I said. "But we need proof. No money until there's a DNA test after birth." Silence. Then, "Unbelievable. You think I'd lie about this?" "I think we've both made mistakes," I said. "I'm not throwing accusations. I'm asking for clarity." "Clarity," she repeated, like the word tasted bad. "You want clarity? You'll get it." The call ended. The apartment felt too quiet. The fridge hummed. A car alarm chirped somewhere down the block, then quit. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at nothing for a while. Part of me wanted to drive to a fast food place, park under bright lights, and just sit with a soda until the world felt normal again. Another message came through. "You'll regret treating me like a liar." I set the phone face down and lay back. The ceiling fan clicked on every turn. I thought about the last fight we ever had, the one where she said I never trusted her unless I could see the receipts. She threw that word like a dart. Receipts. Proof. I hated that we had become 2 people who needed to document each other to feel safe. I told myself I'd deal with it in the morning. Sleep didn't really show up, but a plan did. Keep it clean, keep it written, keep it calm. No late-night replies. At 2 a.m., I flipped the phone over. The ultrasound still sat on the screen. I studied the jagged shapes and the white haze and realized I couldn't tell what I was looking at. I locked the phone again and stared into the dark, counting the fan clicks. Something was off. I didn't know what yet. I only knew I wasn't going to be dragged around by it this time. The next morning, I woke up groggy, staring at the ceiling like it might hand me answers. For a few seconds, I wondered if the whole thing had been a dream. Then I saw my phone on the nightstand, and the message thread sitting open like a bruise. The old feeling was back, the one where your chest tightens, not from heartbreak, but from walking into another mess you didn't create. Part of me wanted to believe her. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the timeline really did line up somehow. But then I remembered every moment where Lily had turned problems into pressure, where trust me always came right before another bill or favor. I needed someone outside the storm. So I called Mark. He picked up halfway through his first cup of coffee. "Hey man, what's up?" "You're not gonna believe this," I said. "Lily called last night." I could hear his sigh before I even finished the sentence. "What now?" "She said she's pregnant. Said I'm paying." There was a pause, then a dry laugh. "Man, no way. You two haven't talked in forever. Don't fall for it." "I'm not. But what if?" "Don't even start with what if." His tone softened. "You remember last time? The fake hospital bill? Or the lost job thing when she wanted rent money? She's got a pattern, dude." He wasn't wrong. Every time I moved on, something urgent would show up. It was like she couldn't stand the idea of life going smoothly without her in it. Still, pregnancy was new territory. This wasn't a car repair or a made-up invoice. This was serious. Look, Mark said, if she's telling the truth, fine, handle it right. But if not, don't hand her a dime without proof. That made sense. So I texted her, keeping it simple. If the baby's mine, I'll take responsibility. But I want proof. DNA test after birth. Until then, I can't send any money. It took about 10 seconds for the dots to show up. Unbelievable. You're heartless. You think I'd lie about something like this? I stared at the screen, thumb hovering, then set the phone down. No response. 2 minutes later, another text came through. Fine. But when it's proven, don't come crawling back. Something about the phrasing sat wrong. Not if, but when. Like she already knew the ending, or wanted me to. I muted her messages and tried to shift focus back to work, but every buzz made my stomach tighten. Each notification felt like a new trap waiting to spring. A week passed. Then, one afternoon, a message from Jenna, a mutual friend, popped up. Hey, are you and Lily back together? She told people you're helping her with the pregnancy. I stared at the text for a while, not sure whether to laugh or curse. Lily was already telling stories, rewriting reality before I'd even had time to think. I typed back. No, haven't been together in months. Why's she saying that? Not sure, Jenna replied. She mentioned something about you stepping up. Sounded weird, honestly. Yeah, weird was one word for it. That's when I realized I couldn't just sit behind a screen. So I texted Lily directly. Meet me tomorrow. Coffee shop on Riverside. Noon. She showed up the next day right on time, looking more polished than usual, clean outfit, makeup just right, calm smile. It was the kind of appearance she saved for moments when she wanted control. Hey, I said, taking a seat. Hey, she echoed, folding her hands like we were in a job interview. For a few seconds, we just sat there. Two people who used to share a life now trying to figure out if one of them was lying about a new one. I didn't waste time. You've been telling people we're back together. Her jaw tensed. I told a few friends we're talking. That's not a lie. Talking and co-parenting aren't the same thing, I said. And if you're sure the baby's mine, then a DNA test should be no problem. Her eyes narrowed, her voice tightening like a rope. Why can't you just believe me? Because I'd done that before, and belief had cost me more than money. I leaned back, steady. Because last time you lied about rent. About your car payment. Even your job. You want me to believe now. Her eyes darted away, just for a second. That same tell I'd seen 100 times. This isn't over, she said quietly, standing up. You'll regret this. As she walked out, the calm I tried to keep started to fade. The words replayed in my mind like a warning. That night, I opened my email and saw something I never expected. Subject, notice of child support claim. It wasn't a bluff anymore. The subject line hit like a cold splash of water. Notice of child support claim. Lily Matthews versus Ryan Carter. I clicked it open and felt my pulse spike. The email wasn't from her. It was from a law firm in Dallas. The document attached looked formal, packed with words like preliminary support, financial responsibility, and statutory obligations. But one line stopped me cold. The alleged father, Mr. Ryan Carter, is requested to initiate financial arrangements within 14 days. Alleged father. That word, alleged, carried more weight than the rest of the letter combined. I read the whole thing twice, then a third time, hoping I'd missed something. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe she'd typed my name wrong on a form. But there it was, full name, email, even my new address. She'd done her homework. I stared at the screen for a while before dialing the number listed on the letterhead. A calm receptionist answered. Hi, this is Ryan Carter, I said. I just got an email about a child support claim. There's been a mistake. I haven't been in a relationship with the claimant for over 6 months. There was a pause on the other end, the kind where you can hear typing. Mr. Carter, she said, our client provided evidence of the relationship and timeline. If you wish to dispute paternity, you'll need to submit a formal denial and provide supporting documentation. Evidence? I asked. What evidence? I'm not authorized to share details, sir. Please contact your legal representative. I thanked her and hung up, though my hand felt tight around the phone. Evidence? What could she possibly have? Screenshots? Old texts? Fabricated receipts? The word kept echoing in my head. I didn't know what to do, so I did what I always did when the walls started closing in. I drove to Mark's place. He opened the door, took one look at me, and said, What happened? I dropped the printed notice on his kitchen counter. He skimmed it once, eyebrows rising higher with every line. Bro, this is serious. She actually filed something. I know. You need a lawyer. Like, yesterday. I nodded. My mouth was dry. I wasn't scared so much as tired. Tired of being the villain in her story. Tired of trying to stay calm while she spun chaos like it was a reflex. Mark poured 2 glasses of water and slid one across the counter. You have proof you broke up, right? Screenshots, messages. Yeah, I said. Everything. Texts, emails, even the ones where she begged for another chance. Good. Keep them close. And do not talk to her anymore. Not a single text. He was right. This wasn't about feelings anymore. This was paperwork, dates, and proof. On the drive home, my mind kept replaying her last words at the coffee shop. You'll regret this. It hadn't sounded like a threat at the time. Now, it felt like a promise she intended to keep. When I got home, I pulled up every old message and started organizing them by date. The night she'd said, let's take a break. The last time we met. The last photo together. All of it. The math didn't lie. It had been months before she could have conceived. But facts didn't matter much when someone was willing to twist them. That night, I sat at my desk with my laptop open and the notice beside me. The words blurred together after a while, my eyes heavy but my thoughts racing. Somewhere between exhaustion and disbelief, I realized something simple but terrifying. She knew exactly how to make things look believable. And if she was willing to involve lawyers this time, it meant she wasn't just playing around. I closed the laptop, turned off my phone, and leaned back in the chair. The city outside was quiet. Too quiet. I didn't know how this would play out, but one thing was clear. This wasn't going to end with just words. Tomorrow, I'd find an attorney. And this time, I'd fight back with facts, not feelings. The next morning, I woke up before sunrise and sat in silence, the notice still open on my desk. I knew this wasn't something that I could solve with a conversation. It was time to handle it like what it was, a legal mess. I spent hours calling law firms. Most of the charged consultation fees I couldn't justify. Finally, I found a small office downtown that offered a free first meeting. I booked it immediately. The attorney, a calm middle-aged man named David, listened as I laid out everything. The breakup, the late-night call, the shaky timeline, the fake stories she was spreading. He didn't interrupt once. When I finished, he leaned back, thoughtful. Ryan, I've seen this before, he said. If the child's not yours, the system will clear your name, but you need to be smart about it. No contact with her. Gather everything. Dates, screenshots, proof of separation. We'll build a file strong enough to dismiss the claim. That word, proof, hit different. For years, I'd been accused of not trusting enough. Now, proof was the only thing that could save me. Thankfully, I had plenty. Old texts from when we split. Screenshots of her dating app profile that popped up a month later. Messages where she asked for another chance, weeks after the supposed conception date. Emails confirming my move to a new apartment in another part of the city. David nodded as I showed him the timeline. Good. That's solid. I'll file a formal denial of paternity and request a court-ordered DNA test. Don't respond to her messages. Let everything go through us. I left the office lighter, but still uneasy. It's one thing to know you're innocent. It's another to prove it when someone's determined to drag you down. Over the next few weeks, I tried to move through life like normal. Work, groceries, workouts, therapy. But every time my phone buzzed, I tensed. Most were spam calls or reminders, but one night, her name appeared again. You're making this harder than it has to be, she wrote. You could have just helped. I didn't want to involve lawyers. I stared at the screen, then set the phone down. No reply. 2 days later, I got a message from Jenna, the same mutual friend who'd asked about the pregnancy earlier. Hey, just saw Lily at a bar last night. She was with some guy named Tyler. Introduced him as her boyfriend. They looked close. Tyler. The name rang a bell. Then it clicked. One of the just friends from before. The same guy I'd always felt uneasy about. I sat back, letting it sink in. Suddenly, the timing made sense. The evasive answers. The anger when I asked for proof. It wasn't about me. It was about finding someone to take responsibility. I forwarded Jenna's message to my lawyer. He called within minutes. This helps, David said. We'll file a subpoena for her medical records and request an official DNA test. If she's lying, it'll come out. Sitting in his office, signing those documents felt surreal. I never imagined needing legal paperwork to prove a negative, to prove I wasn't a father. But that's what it had come to. A week later, the motion was filed and officially served. That night, my phone exploded. You think you can embarrass me like this? You're destroying my life. You'll regret this, Ryan. Each text came faster, angrier, more desperate. I didn't respond. I forwarded everyone straight to David. Then, buried halfway down the thread, I saw a line that stopped me cold. I told Tyler you'd step up like a real man, but I guess I was wrong. There it was. Proof she hadn't meant a word of her story, and confirmation of what I'd suspected all along. I took a screenshot, labeled it confession, and added it to my folder. For the first time since this started, I felt calm, not happy. This wasn't about guilt anymore. It was about truth. And truth, finally, was on my side. The next few weeks felt like living in slow motion. Every day started with checking my email for updates from my lawyer, and ended with me double-checking the folder where I kept every screenshot, message, and document. It was strange, building a case not to prove innocence, but to stop someone from rewriting my life. Then one Friday morning, the notification finally came in. Court-mandated DNA test, appointment confirmed. I didn't celebrate. I just exhaled and circled the date. The test wasn't about revenge, it was about closure. When the day arrived, the air felt heavy. The testing office was sterile and quiet, the kind of place where emotions had no space to breathe. Lily was already there, arms folded, staring at her phone. She didn't look up when I walked in. "Ryan Carter," the nurse called. I stepped forward. Lily followed without a word. The process was fast, a swab, a signature, a date stamp. Less than 10 minutes, and months of tension were sealed in an envelope headed to a lab. As we stepped into the hallway, she finally spoke. "You didn't have to do all this," she said. "Yes," I replied quietly, "I did." She shook her head, almost disappointed. "You'll regret this." I didn't argue. I just walked out. 2 weeks later, an email from my lawyer arrived. Subject line, "Test results, confirmed." I opened it, eyes running straight to the bolded text. 0% probability of paternity. That was it. No long explanation, no drama, just a number that ended months of chaos. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. I sent the result to David, who filed for dismissal the same day. He called later and said we could even pursue damages for the false claim if I wanted. But I didn't. I wasn't looking to drag this out. I just wanted peace. A week later, I got a call from Jenna. She didn't even say hello before blurting out, "You're not going to believe this. Lily's boyfriend dumped her. Apparently, he found out about the legal stunt and called her manipulative. Said he couldn't trust her again." I didn't say much, just a quiet "I see." It wasn't satisfaction I felt. It was closure. Karma had done its job without me lifting a finger. Still, a small part of me couldn't shake the sadness. There was a time Lily and I talked about kids, about a future, about growing old together. To see it all end like this, in legal threats and DNA tests, was heavy. But maybe peace doesn't come from fixing people. Maybe it comes from finally walking away when you've done all you can. Months passed. Life began to feel normal again. I cooked more, slept better, even laughed without the weight in my chest. One evening, an envelope came in the mail, a final letter from my lawyer. I opened it slowly. Case closed. Fully dismissed. I sat by the window with a cup of coffee, watching the sun dip behind the buildings. My phone sat beside me, unlocked. I scrolled through old texts one last time, stopping on the last message she'd sent. "You'll regret this." But she was wrong. I didn't regret standing my ground. I didn't regret asking for proof. And I didn't regret finally choosing peace over drama. I deleted the entire thread, every photo, every reminder. The screen went blank, and for the first time in a long time, so did my thoughts. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.